Hello guys, welcome back to the crew Wild Run. On request I'm gonna do a few things differently. I'm going into the summit. I'm on the BMW bike, but for no reason, because I came out of the summit doing PvP. Apparently I'm in 9th spot, so I dropped a few places. I was 6th last night with about, well, I don't know, 20 hours to go. And I'm still in 9th position. Because some people came into the top 10 overnight, I guess. I always play during the night, European night, that is till morning. And when I went offline I was in 6th, and now I dropped a few places. I was 12th earlier, but I tried to defend by doing a few more stunts and so on. So I have a platinum medal in everything, although the crew time attack is not sharp enough. But I don't know how people get a 142. I've been playing with Darius earlier, as shown in one of my videos for this summit qualifier, and we did a 159.0 for me and a 159.3 for Darius. And the top times are 142, it's 138 even. No idea how they did it, probably with a crew of 4 so that you can get more than one draft or slipstream. Otherwise I don't see how you can do a 138 on that track. Definitely not by yourself, unless it's a cheater or something, but all the other times are also 140, 142, so they're not all cheaters. Some of them are, as I noticed in the escape tests, because at a certain point there was a guy with 8,036 points, and I loaded him up as a ghost to see what he was using and to follow him the route he did. And he was driving a Mini Countryman raid spec, because the escape test needs a raid spec. And he, from the moment he went through the gate till the end of the run, he used nitro. So he's using some kind of device which gives him possibility to use nitro all the time, getting higher speeds and a higher score, of course. But I still managed to do 7,800 or something. 7,831. How did I do it? Pretty simple, with a 1299 Hummer. And I also ran into someone who also had a Hummer, and we did some slipstream stuff, getting high score there. That way you can do 280, 285 kilometers an hour at a certain point if you get a good slipstream. Now drift trial, well, no, not drift trial, drag trial. I have a 21.8 shown in the video done with Darius. I'm gonna give it a go and see what I can do by myself, sort of on request. Someone wanted a solo video of drag, but I'm not that good at it. Oh, and I forgot to do something. I forgot to put it on manual. That's a bit too... nah, just not dropped enough. The key is, where do you press nitro? Well, I have no clue. Is it before this corner or just behind it? I'm pressing it here now, and we'll see what happens, but I didn't have perfect burn, so not as good here, because I only get 560, 570 something, while the top speed of this thing is 600 kilometers an hour or more. Also solo, I've done a 602 or 603 I think. 595 is the top speed apparently in this run. 22.7, so that's about 1 second slower than I did with Darius, where we gave each other a bit of a slipstream. Let's give it another go and try to make a perfect burn this time. That first shift is kind of hard to get on perfect. I'm using the nitro now because the tires bar was in green. Sometimes you get lucky that the tire bar, as now is, that little bar on the left of your speedometer was green, and that's when I hit the nitro, and usually that gives better time, but we'll see what I got here. I got a 22.2 and I missed one perfect shift, I think. The first one is the hardest to get, but it helps if you put the car on manual. And I haven't done that. Just a fraction too soon. I'm gonna use the nitro here and see what happens. If you can get long high speed on a long section. I'm gonna see if it's faster or slower than if you press the nitro later. I almost instantly pressed it in the last run here, and I think it's a 22.2 again. Let's see. 22.1. So I didn't reach 600 kilometers an hour, but I did manage to get 582 with 22.1, and that's without a draft. So it's not even that far from the 21.8 that I got with a draft. So I'm gonna continue, and I'm gonna see if it makes a difference if you put it on manual. And before I do that, I'm also gonna check to see what parts I have on the car now. Because I changed that up earlier, I think in the last qualifier or the last summit, I don't know, I changed it up. So I'm gonna quickly have a look in headquarters. I don't know what I've done with it. Did I put him back on speed, or probably because last week we could use the drag car on the speed test. So let's have a quick look. Performance. Yeah, I did put him back on speed. But for one of the previous qualifiers, I put acceleration parts on it. And by the looks of it, I have 11 speed bonus parts on, as I mostly have on my cars for time attacks. Is that the best? Well, I don't know. Like for the reward that we got, the BMW M4, I'm pretty sure that it needs a few grip bonus parts because it is kinda sliding all over the place. So we leave again and try to get to the summit. Oh, second. No, I don't want to go to bed. Manual. Yes, I want to save that. And now we're gonna enter again and see if it makes any difference. See if I can make it 21.8 somehow, or at least a 21 by myself without the draft. Because the draft we did a sort of a tryout, me and Darius. Although we haven't really focused on it, just as we did with the crew time attack, and that's kind of getting to me now to make a top 5, but nevertheless. After all, what do you need is a platinum medal, and not even in the qualifiers. In the qualifiers you only need a medal. If you earn 3 in a month, bronze, silver, gold or platinum, it gives you 5% chance of winning the reward. Oh my god. I feel if you put a car on manual, it kinda reacts a bit faster than if you don't. As you can see, the tires bar doesn't get green. I'm gonna use the nitro, so I get a higher speed if I use it after the corner. I get like 590 or even higher. But it was only a good burn, so it's hard to compare these runs every time. Because sometimes you miss something, burn or a 23.1. So the nitro after the corner, it's not a good idea, although I have a top speed of 602 kilometers an hour now. Not a good idea to use the nitro that late. On this track, at least not. Be too much on the throttle. The bar is not going to get green before the corner, so I'm going to press the nitro here. Gives you a higher speed on a longer straight, so I'm still doing 552 something on the finish. You will do 580, 590 on the finish if you use the nitro later, but then you're losing speed before the corner. 22.8, so that's already 3/10 faster, and still didn't have the perfect burn. Which is kind of, I play with a keyboard by the way, so it's kind of hard to get it all going at the right time. Really? But even then, sometimes a good shift or a good burn is good enough to get a top time up. Again, 552 at the finish, something like that. And I don't know if you use another car, if you can even make that turn, because the rough is the best handling, at least in my experience, which is only about 2 months. Will be about 2 months now that I have this game, so I'm learning as I go. But I'm learning fast apparently, so I make a top 10 in these qualifiers and a top 20 in the actual summit. So we're gonna retry this and try to make a few perfect burns. Yes, still going to. I use the skyline, but skyline is a bit tricky. Even that small corner in this track gives the skyline a problem. Makes it spin out and you lose control over the car. Not the case with the rough. And now I missed the second shift. The bar was green, so I immediately pressed the nitro now. So I won't have that high speed, but I'm doing 550 throughout the run now, and I will still be at 550 at the finish. So I did 550 kilometers an hour the whole run. It's gonna be faster, slower, we'll see. I'm watching the time. 22.6. It's sorta, you have to sort of find a mix. I think I did the nitro too early this time. That's too much. Just in time. $22.5, $22.6. I think with a keyboard it's pretty hard to do a 21 by yourself. I did a 21.7 or 8 when playing with 21.8, playing with Darius. Closest I could get was one of the first runs in this video, 22.1. So So the heat nitro now at 520 kilometers an hour. But the result is always the same. You arrive at finish at 553, 552 kilometers an hour if you do it like this. $22.6, so it comes back a whole time. So I think those few tenths of a second or even full second will, if you do a draft with 3-4 people, then you can you can get slipstreams from 3 different people. If they all use nitro at a different spot, and you are the one that uses it the last, then you can get a draft from all 3 of them. And that makes you maybe able to do a 21 or even a 20.8 or 9 or something. Now that's for the drag. Now for the free drive stuff, well, I basically do everything around. Not even that much, as you can see, 28,000. I did a few runs. Challenge, same story. I have 60,000. I just use a circuit car and I do some sort of route. I've set up a 7,000 route, sort of Vegas to Vegas, in one big loop over white roads. Starting in Vegas and finishing in Vegas, and it's like $7,000 or $8,000, and it takes like 10 minutes. So if you do that a few times, you can do it as many times as you want. I mean, some people are really ridiculous here. 620,000. So they basically they've been playing for 3 days in free drive. For the stunts, probably the same. Let's have a look. 135,000. They probably played like, I don't know, several levels. I usually play 15 levels, and if I need some more to get platinum, then I do a few more levels. I did 10 levels extra today, I think. That's why I have 28,000 now. As for the PvP, well, I don't know. I have 600,000. I played 2 PvP lobbies, one today and one yesterday. Benefit is that I have all parts on all these bikes that are used in the summit qualifier, so I get bucks from the platinum card every time, so that's double bucks. You get bucks for the race and bucks for the platinum card. The guy in first has 4 million. Now that's a lot of playing, or it's some kind of bot. He stays in a lobby and just collects, and then you get 4 million, because how can you get 4 million in 2 days time? Summit qualifier is 3 days and a half, and there's still 20 hours to go, so in 2 days and a half he has 4 million. Yep. No comment, that's all I can say. Now, free drive stunts, where do I do them? Pretty simple, Las Vegas area. The wheelies, the traffic, I do that on the Las Vegas strip. And then you have this road here going from Las Vegas to the Bonneville Salt Lakes there, the white spot on your map. And here on the side you have these things here. Pretty easy to destroy 100 of them in like a few 100 yards. So if something needs to be destroyed, I come here. Jumps, well, pretty simple. I use this monster arena. I go there with bike or something, and you jump on those ramps. Easy to do the jumps instead of going to the jumps that are on your map if you need to do jumps. Then the drifting, well, if it's only a short distance, I use just the road here. If it's you need to do more, then I use the salt flats here in Bonneville. Same for the drag car. Something needs to be done. 260 kilometers an hour with a drag car or something. Just use this thing here. And even more north, you have this hill here, all the way north of the map, Northern Rockies. Fast travel there, and that's the thing I use for the climbing. You can go up and down, kind of teleport it. And I'm still in my drag car. Kind of teleport it to the wrong spot here. The point is, I can't lie. Okay, I'm gonna change car here because this is a bit. I'll use a monster, whatever. Something that actually works here. So this hill, that's what I use. Monster spec, normal cars, race cars. It's easy to climb a few hundred meters here. The same goes for the downhill. You can do it here in a pretty fast time, so that you do not have to. If it's only like 100 meters or something, you can even do it in a monster arena. Just go up a ramp, up and up and up and again and again and again. But if you need 300 meters climbing, just go up here. Pretty simple. And the downhill, well, that's even simpler. Then you put yourself on top of the hill, or somewhere in that area. And you go down through the trees here. So I still have the thing in manual. And you get a lot of meters here if you stay in this line here. It's kind of an open line between the trees. As you can see, pretty easy. And if you go the other way, it's pretty easy to get a climbing. That's for the free drive stunts. Those are the things that I use. But although I try to, because of my drift issue, seeing I play with a keyboard, I have to do these free drive stunts to get a decent spot on the qualifiers. I know it doesn't matter that much. In the end, you have like, for this month we have 6 qualifiers. First one was the Italian, this one is with bikes. This seems to be with it's Maserati or something. Although, I'm starting to think that's a Jaguar on the picture. Will there a Jaguar be coming into the game? Well, I don't know. This one seems to be Euro-Asia again, where you cannot use American cars. The last one, on the other hand, is an American flag, so you can only use American cars. And the one in between is a classic, so that's all the 69 Camaro and stuff like that that you have to use there, probably. But in the end, what do you need? You need 3 medals in these things. There are 6 of them. If you participate in 3 of them, you have 3 medals. Then you get a access pass for the actual summit, saving yourself 180,000. Because if you do not participate in the qualifiers, you can also buy your way in the actual summit, which is, for this month, it's April 25th up till May 1st. It's always 7 days, the actual summit. The qualifiers are 3.5 days. You can buy your way in for 180,000 bucks. So that's also, if you have enough bucks, you don't even need to do those qualifiers. How do you get the reward, which is the BMW M4, same as in March? Every of these rewards go for 2 months, mostly. Pretty simple. You need to get platinum medal in the summit. How do you get a platinum medal? Where do you need to be? Well, that's pretty simple. It's 10% of the ranked players. In this case, there are for this summit qualifier, there are 4,069 players. So platinum is top 407 spots. So you don't have to be in the top 5 or 9 as I am now. You just have to be, well, let's say top 300 to be sure, because otherwise if you are on 405th or something, you can drop overnight, giving you only gold. Not that it matters in the qualifier, but in the actual summit it matters. And that's where the percentages come in. If you do not get a platinum medal in the actual summit, then you still have a chance to get the reward, and that depends on the percentage. So there are 6 qualifiers this month. If you get a medal in each of them, that's 5% for each, then you have a 30% chance of getting the M4 after all, although you don't have a platinum medal. But if you go for platinum, you're guaranteed the M4 for March, and that will be the same for April. So a quick video on drag and what I do for free drive stunts, where I go and stuff like that, and how to get in the summit. Sort of quickly explained for those who don't know yet, because I saw a few comments how you get to the M4, and well, that's how I did it. Pretty simple. Get 3 medals during the month in these qualifiers. That will get you a free access pass for the summit. If you don't get the medals, you can buy your way in for 180,000. It's the actual summit that matters, because that's where the reward is, and there you have to get platinum. It's harder because there are more players there, which also, on the other hand, it's easier, because I think the last summit there were like 10,000 players, which means that you have to reach a top 1,000 spot to get a platinum medal. Anyway, that will be it for this video, and we'll see you guys in the next one.